Good afternoon. How's everyone doing? Introduce yourselves, and then Crystal and I can go ahead with sharing a little bit of our um, channeled information. I think Crystal might do a little bit of a guided meditation. Maybe we could do a couple of minutes, one of our fabulous guided meditations. Take it away.
Yeah, let's start with that. So let's just take a couple of deep breaths here at the start. Feeling into the I am presence, anchoring it in the core of our hearts. Our primary cosmic connection with all that is, across all timelines, lifetimes, spaces, dimensions, and realities. Breathing that presence all the way down our central channel, down into our feet, into our roots, through our Earth Star chakra, anchoring presence into our full central column as we align it with our higher self, our oversoul, our true north, and our highest timeline possible through our divine connection to source. Breathing into that golden channel as it fills up with divine light. Expanding our awareness into all the multidimensional parts of us across all timelines, lifetimes, spaces, dimensions, and realities. Through all the divine kingdoms of the I Am presence, resting in the stillness and the knowing that we are eternal light, we are divine presence, and we are all equally representative of the golden tree of light we came to anchor within our hearts, within Gaia, within our collective, and all collectives that we identify with across all lifetimes, timelines, spaces, dimensions, and realities. Closing and sealing any and all portals that do not serve and support of this and the highest good of every all. Amplifying and radiating those golden frequencies through our whole channel, up above, through our soul star chakra, through all of our universal connections, galactic families, soul families, star families, coming into wholeness as we anchor oneness within ourselves and our collective consciousness. Coming back to center now, resting in the heart, anchoring these intentions through all timelines, lifetimes, spaces, dimensions, and realities. Coming back to our bodies now as we gently bring this meditation to a close, expressing love and gratitude for the infinite wisdom that resides in our field, in our heart, and radiates through our connections of eternal consciousness. And so it is.
So, galactic time. This week I found again this beautiful little calendar I had bought when we went to Shasta, one of those magical stores that we all got to. Well, there and it relates to the 13 moon cycles and how the Gregorian calendar differs from the more harmonious, natural way of time, which is not linear, and how it is divided in rather 13 months and 28 days, which
I love all of this and is very much where I've also been recently. Raquel, I love that you mentioned that the galactic calendar came in for you through the Shasta portal. Oh my goodness. It has like my whole body on fire with tingles. But and I have been studying that same calendar. It was gifted to me for my birthday, I think in 2021 or 2022. So I've actually been studying it for a few years. It's pretty involved because there's many layers of multidimensionality that are all kind of encoded and embodied in this one calendar. And so if anyone's interested in checking it out, 13moon.com sells them online. They're like 25 bucks. And it's an incredibly valuable experience to walk through. And like I said, it's been a few years I've been studying it, and I still don't fully like know that I understand it well enough to explain it sometimes, but it's really awesome. And it just starts to kind of tweak your like ego mind and the linear mind into thinking about flow of energies in different ways. And then putting pieces together as we kind of, as we weave together this cosmic remembrance and the wisdom that we have sent ourselves with throughout however many lifetimes has been a really fun, just exploration, if nothing else. And so that's been really amazing. So I'm just standing in honor as we all witness each other walking through this process and weaving together our own individual frequencies. I love what was said about timelines and moving through that process and through those energies. I think there's something to be said about the nature of our divinity as we all kind of have our own unique ways of feeling into this, but honoring each other's presence in the eternal moment as we as we lean into our multidimensionality, it becomes opportunities for us to shed layers of stuff we've been carrying with us that may or may not serve us. And so that gets to be our journey as we walk through, what are we ready to release? Kind of identifying the stories that we tell ourselves and anchoring into that divinity, into the 0 point within our hearts, and just allowing that divine flow to move through us. And so I'm deeply honored and grateful to be here with all of you as we all witness each other in that process. And I just can't wait to see what the universe has in store for us next. So thank you, everyone. With that, I'm complete.
Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. One of the things that I found really interesting, although the calendar ideas and concepts were quite involved and intricate, is that they said just take it slow and go with. So each day brings in its own frequencies and energies. And just being aware of what they are will open things for us to come through, as opposed to for example, me, I'm very logical and I tend to overthink things. That's something that came through this week. Like, stop overthinking. That serves you, does not serve you at all. And so, allowing grace and flow and being in the I am present and in the now, as opposed to always critiquing yourself with past things or obsessing with the future. It's kind of an interesting energy that came for me this week as well. It's like, oh, I love that. Okay. Internalizing it. So thank you.
It's interesting. I find myself like the grid work adventures I find myself on. Um, I mentioned earlier, I'm currently in my childhood hometown, and it has changed so much over the last 20 years, 25 some odd years. And I'm just feeling big energies of like rings within rings of cosmic time, maybe the the tree of life of all that is. And so the interesting part of the multidimensionality piece for me is like kind of the walking in two worlds aspect where I have all this fun stuff going on in my head, but then like in the real world, I'm like sometimes it's very different than what's going on in my head, and sometimes I have no idea how to words about it. People around me are like, what the heck is she doing? I had like a so I have this fanny pack that has angel wings, and it's like opalescent kind of sparkly silver. And I always have a bunch of crystals in it. Like I walk around with my friends all the time. And so like these are a couple that I have in the breakout room with me, and I have a little grid on the table where I was before, and I where I'm at a, like I said, I'm at a birthday party and it's a funplex. And so there's like arcades and go-karts and bowling and rock walls and there's a skating rink so I just like get these ideas and I just like follow. This is me like following spirit. And I'm like, okay, well, me and my friends are just gonna go walk over here and just like walk around this little skating rink. Okay, nobody watch us. Because then I just like put a little grid on this thing and I walk around it in a bunch of different ways. And I'm just like throwing light codes everywhere. And I'm like, oh, this is fun. And then I'm paying attention to the disco ball and like the rack that holds it up. And I don't know. It's so much sometimes that comes through that I'm just like, I just feel it. Like, so these are my little adventures. And I don't know if any of you experienced that in terms of your grid work or sharing codes or anything like that. But it's been a learning journey to even just identify how to share like what it is that I do because there's a lot that goes on here. So I love that. I was called to Sedona on 11/11 last year, and it was one of the most incredible experiences, I think, on both sides of the spectrum. Because, like I said before about the walking in two worlds thing, like I was very much in spirit on like a super high vibration and in the groups that we were doing and the meditations that we were doing. But the people that I brought with me weren't exactly aligned with those frequencies. And so it got to be a really interesting like experience for me to very much feel both sides of the polarity spectrum and just like it was almost like anchoring into that stillness was like the only thing I could do because there's so much processing going on both sides. And I'm just like, okay, I'm here. I'm love, I'm light. But Sedona was actually absolutely beautiful. I had never been prior to that, and I have been 3 times since, and am thinking about going again for 11/11 this year. And so it's really just it's it's very interesting the way that things call to you and places and the land, and so that's also been fun to feel into, is just like following the calls, just like saying yes. It reminds me of that Jim Carrey movie, Yes Man.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like remaking that from a standpoint of like Gaia's the one calling you to these things, and which one are you gonna say yes to? That sounds like a fun project. I'm just spending the last few seconds to anchor all frequencies together in this
Mhm.
cosmic dance. We're all here to play together. So thank you all, participants and co-creators. I see you, I love you, honor you for your journeys and your experiences. Thank
And
you.
so it is.
And
Thank
so it
you.
is.